Don't forget to like and subscribe to follow the next interesting stories. And if you have any feelings about the story, leave your opinion in the comment section. We look forward to hearing from you. Now, let's listen to this dramatic and touching story. What if the person you trusted most at work turned you into a scapegoat, only to face the consequences of your hidden truth? My name is Mara Evans, a 30-year-old logistics coordinator at Apex Solutions, a bustling shipping company in Chicago. I'd spent 4 years at Apex, rising through the ranks with grit and loyalty, earning the respect of my team for my meticulous work. My dream was simple: save enough to buy a house for my mom, who'd raised me alone in a cramped apartment. But that dream was shattered on a crisp October morning when I walked into the office to find my world turned upside down. It started with a missing shipment, a $50,000 batch of electronics, vanished from the warehouse overnight. I'd overseen the delivery the previous day, double-checking every crate, my hands steady as I logged the inventory. But when I arrived, the warehouse manager, Greg, was waiting, his face a mask of fury. "Mara, we've got a problem," he said, his voice low. "The shipment's gone, and your name's on the logs." My stomach dropped, confusion clouding my mind. "Gone? That's impossible. I checked everything." I stammered, but Greg cut me off, pointing to security footage. There I was, leaving the warehouse at 8 p.m., the last one out. My heart raced, a mix of shock and dread settling in. I hadn't taken anything, but the evidence looked damning. Then came the real blow. My colleague, Natalie Harper, stepped forward, her eyes cold. Natalie and I had been close, lunch buddies, confidants, or so I thought. She'd always been ambitious, eyeing my role as coordinator, but I'd never suspected her of malice. "I saw Mara acting strange yesterday," she said, her voice dripping with false concern. She was secretive, rushing to leave. I didn't want to believe it, but she trailed off, her words a knife in my back. Inside, I was a storm. Betrayal burned in my chest, anger flared at her lies, and fear gripped me as Greg nodded. "You're suspended, Mara, pending investigation," he said. "If this checks out, you're fired, and we'll press charges." The office buzzed with whispers as I gathered my things, my hands trembling, my face hot with humiliation. My colleagues avoided my gaze, their pity a bitter pill. Natalie's words echoed in my mind, her betrayal a wound that wouldn't stop bleeding. I'd trusted her, shared my dreams, and now she'd framed me, her ambition a weapon. My mom's face flashed before me, her pride when I'd landed this job, her hope for a better life. Now, I was a thief in everyone's eyes, my savings at risk, my future crumbling. I felt the weight of failure, self-doubt whispering I'd never recover. Had I been too naive? Too trusting? The suspension came with a 30-day deadline. If I couldn't clear my name, I'd lose everything. That night, I sat in my apartment, the city lights mocking my despair, my mind racing with questions. How had the shipment vanished? Why had Natalie turned on me? I replayed our conversations, searching for clues, my anger growing with each memory of her fake smiles. I thought of quitting, of running from the shame, but a fire ignited inside me. I wasn't a thief, and I wouldn't let her win. I had one advantage, a secret I'd kept hidden, a habit that might save me. I always recorded my warehouse checks on my phone, a precaution against errors. If I could find that video, I might have a chance. But the stakes were rising. The next morning, I found my car tires slashed, a note tucked under the wiper. "Stay quiet, or it gets worse." My heart pounded, fear mixing with fury. Natalie wasn't just framing me, she was dangerous. I called the police, but they dismissed it as vandalism, leaving me vulnerable. My hands shook as I replaced the tires, my resolve hardening. I had 29 days, a false accusation, and a rival who'd stop at nothing. But beneath the terror, a plan formed. My video, my truth, was my weapon, and I'd use it to expose her lies, no matter the cost. The slashed tires and threatening note marked the beginning of a nightmare that tested every ounce of my resolve. As Mara Evans, a logistics coordinator fighting to clear my name, I barricaded myself in my Chicago apartment, the city's hum a distant echo to my racing thoughts. The note, "Stay quiet," or "It gets worse," played on a loop in my mind, its menace a constant weight. Was Natalie behind this? The thought chilled me, a mix of disbelief and dread. She'd been my friend, my ally, but her accusation had revealed a ruthless ambition I'd never seen. Inside, I was a mess. Betrayal gnawed at my trust, fear gripped my chest, and a burning anger pushed me to act. I couldn't prove the threat came from Natalie, but I couldn't ignore it either. The police offered little help, leaving me to install a cheap security camera outside my door. My hands shaky as I set it up. My days blurred into a frantic rhythm, searching for evidence, dodging Natalie's smug updates on Apex's internal chat, and avoiding my colleagues' pitying messages. She'd been promoted to my role, her victory a slap in the face, each email a reminder of her theft. My confidence wavered, doubts whispering I'd never clear my name. Had I been too blind to her envy? Was this my fault? But my mom's voice cut through the noise. "You're stronger than this, Mara," and a flicker of hope reignited. What Natalie didn't know was my secret weapon. I always recorded my warehouse checks on my phone, a habit I developed after a clerical error years ago. That night, I'd filmed my final sweep, narrating each crate's contents. My voice steady as I locked up. I hadn't checked the footage, too panicked to think straight, but now it was my lifeline. I connected my phone to my laptop, my heart pounding as I scrolled through videos. There it was, 8:02 p.m., me sealing the last crate, the electronics intact, the warehouse secure. My breath caught, relief flooding me, but also a new fear. This proved my innocence, but using it meant confronting Natalie, and with her threats escalating, I wasn't sure I'd survive the fallout. I sought an ally in Jamal, a warehouse tech I'd mentored, meeting him at a diner outside town. "Jamal," Natalie framed me. I said, my voice low, showing him the video. His eyes widened, a mix of shock and anger. "She's been shady, Mara. I saw her snooping around after you left that night. Thought it was weird." My stomach twisted, the pieces falling into place. Jamal agreed to testify, but warned, "She's got friends in management. You'll need more, something airtight." He was right. I needed to trace the shipment's path, find who'd taken it, and link it to Natalie. The 30-day deadline loomed. 27 days left, each tick a noose tightening. The threats intensified. One night, my apartment door was scratched, a new note. "Drop it, or you're done." My heart raced as I called Jamal, my voice breaking. "She's coming for me," I gasped. He arrived with a friend, a locksmith, his face grim. "This is serious," he said. "File another report, and let's get you a lawyer." I did, the officer's skepticism fueling my resolve. A lawyer, Rachel, took my case, reviewing my video. "This is strong," she said, "but we need to prove Natalie's involvement. We'll subpoena warehouse logs and footage tomorrow." The move was risky. Natalie could retaliate, or her allies could bury me, but I had no choice. I threw myself into the fight. My apartment a war zone of notes and timelines, my mind a battlefield. Anger at Natalie's betrayal clashed with fear of failure, hope battling despair. I traced the shipment's route, finding a discrepancy. A truck signed out at 9 p.m., an hour after I'd left, under Natalie's code. My hands shook as I saved the log, the weight of her guilt sinking in. The deadline was 25 days away, and Natalie's promotion party was announced, a celebration of my ruin. I felt the noose tighten, my every move watched. But beneath the chaos, my video and the log were my edge. A ticking bomb ready to expose her lies. The subpoena for warehouse logs marked the beginning of the end, a ticking clock that led to the most intense day of my life. As Mara Evans, I stood in Apex Solutions conference room, my heart pounding, clutching my evidence, the video, the truck log, and Jamal's statement. The past 25 days had been a gauntlet, threats, sleepless nights, and Natalie's smug promotion party, where she toasted to new beginnings, while I hid in the shadows. Inside, I was a storm. Fear of failure gnawed at me, rage at her betrayal fueled my resolve, and a fragile hope anchored me. Today was my chance to clear my name, but the stakes were sky high. The emergency meeting was packed. Greg, the warehouse manager, HR, and Apex's CEO, Ms. Carter, sat around the table, their faces a mix of skepticism and curiosity. Natalie was there, her smile venomous, seated beside her ally in management, Tom. My lawyer, Rachel, stood by me, her presence a lifeline. Mara has evidence proving her innocence, she began, her voice steady. I played the video, my voice echoing through the room as I locked up at 8:02 p.m., the electronics intact. Gasps rippled, Greg's eyes narrowing. Then the truck log, signed out at 9 p.m. under Natalie's code. She framed me, I said, my voice breaking with emotion. I trusted her, and she stole my life. Natalie leapt up, her face red. This is a lie, she shouted, her composure shattering. She's desperate. She faked this. Inside, her outburst fueled my fire. The years of trust betrayed flashing before me. Jamal stepped forward, his voice calm but firm. I saw Natalie in the warehouse after Mara left. She was with the driver. I heard her say, "Make it quick." The room erupted, Ms. Carter's expression darkening. Natalie turned to Tom, pleading, but he looked away, his loyalty crumbling. Rachel presented the subpoenaed footage, grainy but clear. Natalie and the driver, loading crates at 9:15 p.m., her laughter chilling. The tension was palpable, my heart pounding as Ms. Carter deliberated. Inside, I was a mess. Fear of disbelief clashed with hope, the weight of the past month crushing me. Then, a bombshell. The driver, arrested that morning, had confessed. Natalie paid him $5,000 to steal the shipment, selling it on the black market to fund her lifestyle. The room gasped, Natalie's scream piercing the air. "You can't prove that," she shrieked, but a mess. Carter's gavel-like voice cut through. "You're terminated, Natalie. Effective immediately. We're pressing charges." The crowd buzzed, security escorting her out, her glare burning into me, a silent promise of revenge. I stood frozen, relief flooding me, but also a chilling unease. Ms. Carter turned to me, her tone softer. "Mara, you're reinstated with back pay, and we're promoting you to senior coordinator." The words hit me like a wave, my knees weak, my mind reeling with the cost, fear, betrayal, the brink of ruin. As I left the room, a text from Rachel lit my phone. "She's facing felony charges. Stay safe." The war wasn't over, but the battle was mine. Natalie's lies had crumbled, and my truth had prevailed. The aftermath of Natalie's termination was a whirlwind that reshaped my life at Apex Solutions. Standing in my new office as senior coordinator, the Chicago skyline glittering through the window, I felt a flood of emotions, relief washing over me, pride swelling in my chest, and a lingering unease from Natalie's parting glare. The past month had been a crucible, threats, slashed tires, and the weight of a false accusation. But I'd fought, and I'd won. Ms. Carter's words still echoed. "You're reinstated, with a promotion," a victory I'd earned through blood and tears. The transition was swift. I moved into my new role, my team welcoming me back with cheers, their loyalty a balm to the wounds Natalie had inflicted. My mom visited the office, tears in her eyes as I showed her my desk. "I knew you'd make it, Mara," she said, hugging me. Her pride healed a piece of me, but inside, I wrestled with scars. Nightmares plagued me. Natalie's sneer, the note on my car, the suffocating fear of failure. I sought therapy, a quiet space to unpack the trauma, but the anger lingered, a quiet ember. Natalie had nearly destroyed me, and though I'd triumphed, the battle had left its mark. Natalie's downfall was complete. Convicted of theft, fraud, and intimidation, she faced 5 years in prison, her career in ruins. I watched her sentencing on the news, her handcuffs a stark image, and felt a cold satisfaction. Inside, I grappled with my feelings. Part of me wanted to gloat, to savor her ruin. But another part, a wiser part, knew revenge wasn't healing. I'd fought for justice, and that was enough. A letter arrived, her handwriting shaky. "I'm sorry, Mar. I was desperate." My chest tightened, memories of our friendship flashing by. I didn't respond. Forgiveness was too far, but I kept the letter, a reminder of the cost of trust. With my new role, I transformed Apex. I implemented stricter security protocols, ensuring no one else would be framed, and mentored my team, their growth a daily joy. My salary doubled, and I bought the house for my mom, a cozy bungalow she'd always dreamed of. She cried as we moved in, her gratitude a gift I'd never forget. My reputation soared, Apex naming me Employee of the Year. My story inspiring others. I used my platform to advocate for workplace fairness, speaking at company events, my voice steady with purpose. One evening, as I stood on my mom's porch, the city lights aglow, a suspicious car slowed nearby, its engine a low growl. My heart raced, old fears resurfacing, but I called security. They found nothing, likely a ghost of Natalie's past. I installed cameras, my resolve unshaken. My career flourished, Apex promoting me again to operations manager, my net worth climbing. I donated to a local charity for single moms, honoring my mom's struggle, ensuring others wouldn't face my battles. Natalie's betrayal had nearly broken me, but it forged me into a leader, a survivor. I was unstoppable, and Apex was stronger for it. Thank you for following this story. If you like emotional and dramatic stories like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to read more interesting stories.